So let me tell you a story. This is a funny story actually, but it wasn't funny to me at the time. On our last camping trip, we were traveling down one of those campground roads. You're familiar with them, the really narrow one-way roads that kind of wind around as you get to each campsite. Well, what happened was I've gotten pretty good in just a short amount of time about keeping this 30-foot trailer in my big truck on the road, keeping it from going over rocks and things on the side. Now, what I forgot to do is look up. Now, this trailer is over 11 feet tall. It's over 11 and a half feet tall. And I was watching the road. What I didn't do was look up to see this spruce tree had an overhanging branch. What I didn't see caused a bunch of damage. Now, if you look over my shoulder, you can see the awning supports. Those two should be parallel. They should be just like this. But one has been bent back by the force of that tree, or better said, me hitting that tree. So, hit the tree. As the branch came back along the trailer, what it did was it broke the window. Now, it didn't break the window out and glass all over the place. It did crack the window enough so that if I did anything with that window, the glass would have fallen out. I did crack it, so I had to put some tape on it. Let's take a look at the damage. Follow me. You can see here we are with a little more detail. Here's the awning support. Now, these two are supposed to be parallel with each other. And as Holly pans up, you can kind of see that one's been pushed back. You can see also with the top, that spindle, that it's a bit askew. Now, you can see where the branch dragged, and just kind of follow along. You can see that that branch dragged all the way down the outside of the trailer and broke the window here. You can see it cracked it, so I had to actually apply some tape to keep that glass from falling out, which seems to be an effective fix for now, but we'll have to replace that window. It was the back support that looks like it took the brunt of the force from that branch. You can even look up there and see that the cap on that spindle is askew, but you can see I've collected a little bit of that tree that hurt me. Me versus the tree won. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go up and get a closer look at it. Only a look I can get from the top of the trailer. So here we go, heading up. You can kind of see here we've got some bolts, some screws that have pulled away. So we're going to have to bend that back. But you can look that as long as there's this tree bark or parts of that tree in that space, there's no way we're getting it out. So I'm going to take my knife and see if I can get that out. And here's the other one. Not as critical, but this is where I collected the wood. What I did is I've tied a bowline, and I'm going to loop the fixed, because it's a fixed loop, right? I'm going to loop that fixed loop over the very top of this and kind of work it down so that I get the max leverage when I go to pull. So that's the first part. That's up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how much pressure with the trucker's hitch and paracord I can put on this. So let's give it a try. So in this case, I may be putting a lot of weight on force on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a alpine butterfly for my loop for my trucker's hitch. Then what we'll do is come around. So I'm going to over tighten it just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to wrap this through one more time. Now that I've bent it back using a trucker's hitch, I'm just put an extra loop through there. That'll give me a little bit more leeway to tie this hitch off. Here you can see that they're lined back up. It's not perfect, but trust me, it wasn't perfect to begin with. This is an old trailer. Okay, now the moment of truth. As I let the tension off, we'll see if it wants to bend back. Here we go, I'm untying the knot, and we may be good to go. The spindle came out, that's not a bad thing.
So it's just the spindle?
Yeah.
More?
Now I've got it down here, so now I can work with it. I'm not trying to lean over. I can actually put some leverage. And it looks like just this one on this side. So if you're facing the trailer, the left side took most of the damage. It's the one with all the wood in it. So I'm fixing that now. And hopefully we'll have a functioning awning in just a few minutes. What I'm trying to do is this collar that goes over the outside of this aluminum tube. It took the biggest part of the damage. So it was me against that tree. Well, I think I finally got it fixed. It certainly is less than perfect, but it's going to work for us. It's going to provide some nice shade today. And so I think we won. Remember, when you're looking and you're concerned about those narrow roadways, always keep one eye going up and look above you so that you don't run into the same problem that we did. From Let's Go Now Adventures, this is John. We'll see you on the next adventure.